Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back, and today I want to talk to you guys about how much I hate the Supernatural team. So I don't necessarily hate how they play, I more hate the comp of this team. I don't really feel these characters are meant to be together. I don't think they're really sort of pals in the Marvel Universe. Occasionally Doctor Strange, Elsa Bloodstone, Ghost Rider, Scarlet Witch, they all do hang out together. Ultimate Alliance 3, they were together. But I really think the only times they hang out together is when the writers or the people making the game don't have access to the rest of supernatural characters. They're just sort of like, all these characters do magical things, so let's put them together. I don't think they mix that well in the Marvel Universe. They're not commonly together all in a ton of things. I just don't really like this Supernatural team. It feels like a mix of 3 different groups of people, and Fox Next was like, we have 5 magical people, put them on a team together. I understand why they did this. These are the characters in the game at this time. So they want to make as many teams as they can. So it makes sense for them to go ahead and make this team because it's what you can do with who's in the game right now. But I want to talk today about how I want to change this team for the future. So today I'm in a PowerPoint format to educate you guys on how I want to change this team. So first off, I said it was sort of 3 parts, sort of mixed into one team. The first part is the Magicians. Mordo and Doctor Strange, they're sort of in their own section of the Marvel Universe. Doctor Strange, there's a ton of, crazy magic stuff he does. All those books, a lot of magician-like things, going through the books, casting spells, potions, those kind of things. I feel that's sort of a magician side of the Supernatural team. Then you have the more supernatural side, and that's more like monsters, myths, ghosts, that kind of stuff. And that's where I feel Elsa Bloodstone and Ghost Rider fall into. Then we have Scarlet Witch. I don't really think she should be on this team at all. I think it's cool to give her the Magician and Supernatural tag, because I think it's always great when characters can go on multiple teams. But really, she's an Avenger. That's where she belongs, with the Avengers. So I'm not really going to put her on either of these teams. If I had to pick one side, I'd say she's more a Magician. But again, I really think she's supposed to be alongside Vision on the Avengers. That's sort of, I mean, they're married in the comics a lot of the time. I really feel they should be together on a team. So first up, we have Ancient One. She sort of acts as a mentor to a lot of these characters in the Marvel Universe. In a lot of games, she's commonly a support character. She does a lot of healing, so I think she should also do that in Marvel Strike Force. I think she'd make a great healer. Not much else to say about Ancient One. Next up, we have our boy Wong. Everyone likes Wong. He's a cool guy. He's sort of like the Watson to Doctor Strange's Sherlock. Everyone, Wong's cool, and I'd really like to see him in Marvel Strike Force with a heavy synergy with Doctor Strange. I want him to, like, everything Doctor Strange does, he assists on. I want him to always be there helping out Doctor Strange, just like a brawler, but he really focuses on working with Doctor Strange. I think Wong could fill a unique spot in this game. Next up, we have Kaecilius. I think he's a pretty classic Doctor Strange villain. He was the villain in the movie. I think he can make a cool blaster for the Doctor Strange team, sort of be their DPS character. And I think he'd be a nice contrast. Mordo, he's not always a straight villain. He sort of blurs the line sometimes. He's like he's more like an anti-hero in my opinion. He kind of goes from side to side. Kaecilius is like a straight villain. So he's like Hela. I consider Mordo more like Loki. If we were to compare this to the Asgardians team, which is actually, it's going to be quite similar to in terms of the hero-villain composition. So anyways, I think he'd make a great 5th member for the Magician team. And then here's another character I think they could add to the team, Klee. She comes up in a couple of games here. She's not a big Marvel character, but she shows up from time to time. I think she messes a lot with the Dark Dimension. Could be a cool blaster. I always enjoy seeing more characters in Marvel Strike Force, so she is a character they could add. And finally, Dr. Voodoo. He's a fan favorite villain. Everyone likes Dr. Voodoo. He's a cool magician. Dr. Voodoo, everyone always likes seeing Dr. Voodoo in games. I think he can make a cool controller, sort of mess with stunts, similar to Mordo. I don't know, Dr. Voodoo's just cool. Everyone likes seeing Dr. Voodoo in games. So here's the Magician team now. I'd like to see Doctor Strange and Mordo taken out, put with Kaecilius, Ancient One, and Wong, and a cool Magicians team right here. So what about those supernatural characters? I think this team's actually more fun than the Magician characters because there's a lot of cool characters we could put in, especially Man-Thing. I think Man-Thing, prime candidate for the supernatural team. Man-Thing, everyone loves Man-Thing. He's a highly rated character. Man-Thing's just super cool, and he could be an awesome character. He could be a tank, I view him as a support. You could also put him as a tank. Man-Thing, he's just so cool. Next up, we have Blade, also arguably one of the coolest characters in the Marvel Universe. I don't know of anyone that doesn't think Blade is cool. Blade is literally so awesome. I mean, I think everyone would love to see Blade in this game. I'd love to see him sort of lifesteal, apply bleeds. Oh my goodness, Blade would be so cool. Morbius, another character that's super cool. Now the problem with Blade and Morbius is they both have cinematic experiences coming out in the near future, so I imagine they're waiting on Morbius and Blade for their movies to come out. So when the Morbius movie comes out, Morbius is probably going to get added to the game. I don't know. They could add, Blade and Morbius. I sort of consider, I feel like if one's in the game, the other should be in the game. So they could add Blade in the Morbius update around when his movie comes out, but because the Blade movie's a long time down, or they could hold out and wait to add Blade until his actual movie comes out. But I hope they add Blade with Morbius whenever Morbius's movie comes around. But Morbius is cool. I'd love to see some more lifesteal bleeds. I always like seeing more Morbius in games. Next up, Moon Knight. Probably a fan favorite. Moon Knight's awesome, would make a great brawler. A lot of cool stuff Moon Knight can do, especially if you work into his split personalities, or the fact, Contest of Champions he has a different kit based on what cycle the moon is in the real world. To a certain extent, it's an adjusted system. But that's really cool that Moon Knight's kit changes, because that's sort of also shows his split personality. So everyone loves Moon Knight. Moon Knight's a super cool character. So here's my new Supernatural team: Ghost Rider, Blade, Man-Thing, Moon Knight, Elsa Bloodstone. Like, tell me this is not a cool team. Like, this is literally such a cool team right here. There's so much potential with the Supernatural team. Literally, oh my goodness, this team's so cool. So that about does it for this video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the Supernatural team and how I want them to change. I just think right now, all the characters in the team are technically supernatural, but I think they all fill different aspects of supernatural. So I'd like to see them split into magicians and actual supernatural mythic monsters, and I think that would allow us to have more teams in this game. I think this would open up some spots for more characters to get added to this game. So I'm just really excited for the future of this team, and I hope they eventually do split it off, and it's not they just keep on adding supernatural characters and we have this huge tag with 10 or 15 sort of supernatural characters. I'd rather see them split off and sort of do groups of 6 or 7 or something like that. But that's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think about these teams down below. Let me know if you think there are any big characters I missed for the Supernatural Magician team. I know there are characters like Dormammu, but Dormammu's kind of the big deal. He's kind of like a Thanos level character. So he's not just somebody we could casually throw onto the Magician team. Dormammu, he's a big guy. You gotta think before you put Dormammu on a team. So I hope everyone has a happy and healthy day. With that being said, what do I really know about the supernatural characters in the Marvel Universe? I am only Man-Thing's biggest fan. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.